Cracks zigzag along the Great Wall, and the winds of change murmur through Tiananmen Square. Is the dragon awakening? China, the giant of the East, stands at a crucial juncture. The once mighty term reform, which echoed China's rapid ascent, now lingers in the air, leaving a question mark on the nation's future. Is it a bold stride towards a more open, liberated path, or a risky dance on the edge of uncertainty? China's transformation into an economic powerhouse has been nothing short of extraordinary, thanks to its reform and open-door policy. The nation has transformed from a closed, impoverished state into a global economic powerhouse, thanks to this policy, which is characterized by gradualism and experimentalism. Despite ongoing debates about the current state of China's economy and calls for political reform, the country's potential for progress should not be underestimated. China's political landscape is characterized by centralized power under the Communist Party of China and the hukou system, dividing the population into rural and urban classes. While the CPC has driven significant economic growth, criticisms of limited political freedom and human rights persist. Calls for greater transparency and political reform have gained traction, with Premier Li Keqiang pledging reforms in capital markets, the currency, and anti-corruption efforts. The potential for change is evident, reflecting a new revolution in which the CPC leads diverse ethnic groups towards reform and openness. The push for political reform and democracy has grown louder in recent years, challenging the Communist Party's 7-decade reign. Prime Minister Wen Jiabao acknowledged the need for transparency and accountability, indicating a shift towards political reform. The closure of a Reform magazine's website, however, has brought attention to the ongoing conflict between reformers and the government. Despite these challenges, the desire for greater democracy and political freedom continues to surge in China. Economic reforms and global market integration have been pivotal in reshaping China's landscape. The transition from a state-led communist system to a market-oriented economy has driven economic development and increased national incomes. Ongoing efforts to reform capital markets, the currency, and combat corruption underscore China's commitment to further integration into the global economy. While progress is evident, there is acknowledgement of room for improvement. China's focus on addressing social and environmental issues is also on the rise. Reforms targeting the hukou system, which perpetuates social inequalities, and commitments to environmental concerns reflect a growing awareness. Despite progress, challenges persist, emphasizing the need for continuous efforts to address social and environmental issues. The potential for reform remains substantial, and the world watches as China navigates these changes, anticipating their impact on the global political and economic landscape. Debates on China's potential for stability and prosperity through reform are ongoing. The open-door policy has facilitated significant economic growth, with market-oriented reforms deemed essential for future development and prosperity. However, risks and obstacles, including distortions in a partially reformed economy and social inequalities codified by the hukou system, must be carefully addressed. Challenges such as corruption, inequality, slowing growth, and environmental concerns emphasize the need for thoughtful planning and consideration in China's reform journey. The impact of reform on global politics and the balance of power cannot be ignored. Ultimately, the question remains whether China is truly on the edge of reform and what that reform will look like in the years to come.